Little cooler tonight as we have arrived at game number 80 on the home slate for the Colorado Rockies. They'll try to bounce back after losing 8-2 to the Padres yesterday, and they'll also try to snap a 5-game losing streak this evening at Coors Field. And from the bullpen, we move upstairs. Glad you're along, everybody, with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, the Rockies obviously have been beaten up of late. Their 3, 4, and 5 hitters haven't played in more than a week, as you all know. So tonight in the 3-hole, somebody who has never been there in their big league career, Dexter Fowler.
Yeah,
George.
Why not? He's got a lot of extra base hits since the break. He's hitting the ball out of the ballpark for a while. Why not give him a shot? Because you know what? When you talk to Jim Tracy, it's easy when you can go Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, Helton. Well, guess what? Those guys aren't there, so you got to get a little creative, and why not? Give him his chance. 295 home runs, 25 RBIs, a big move for Dexter. I think it'd be great. What if he hit 3 home runs tonight? Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, if he does hit 3 home runs tonight, he has a really good chance of hitting third tomorrow and absolutely no chance of hitting third next year when Carlos Gonzalez is fully healthy. And batting fourth tonight will be Seth Smith. Now, that's not unusual for Smith. Smith's put up pretty good numbers, and I know he wants to be an everyday guy, and the Rockies have given him more opportunities to face lefties. How would you assess his season overall?
Average, I think, for me. I think that Seth, you know, when you look at his numbers, I think he can hit a few more home runs. Obviously, hitting in the lineup makes a big difference where you get your RBI opportunities. So I think, you know, based on that, it's average, maybe a little bit above average for me. I still think there's a lot left in there for me personally. I think he's a guy that can hit 290 to 300. I think he's a guy that can hit 20 home runs, and I think he can drive in 85 or 90.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful swing.
Yes,
Nobody would ever doubt that, and he's in the mid-280s right now overall in terms of average. When we come back, we'll talk some about Jhoulys Chacín. He'll be on the hill today for the Rockies. Scene making their way in from the bullpen. We're a few minutes away from the first pitch. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. So Chacin going for the Rockies. We'll get to him in a moment, but we begin with San Diego starter Matt Latos. Terrific year last year. The record's not good. Latos has been better of late. And I'll tell you what, when he's on, he gives right-handers to begin with fits.
Let's just look at those numbers. And you saw those up there. His strikeouts are pretty good. Now, this is what he's done against the Rockies. And Latos, this is a guy for me that's going to win 15 games a year more times than he's not. The reason why he's got the stuff to go do it. That's number one. But number two, you look at his numbers, any offense at all, 3.73 earned run average. He's thrown a lot of innings. He can, if he gets any offense in his games, plus he's their number one guy, so he's had to match up against a lot of number one guys, and I think that's made it harder for him. Now, Chacin on the other side of this, I look forward to him and Rosario because I look back to Casper in 2007 when the two were together there and they played. I just think for Chacin, everybody's talked about it. We've talked about it. Just more consistent with the fastball. He's got to be able to go out and get after people. Second half numbers haven't been anywhere close to his first 18 starts this year in the big leagues. Again, a little more run support. There's probably a few more wins out there for him. But it's got to start with consistency of his fastball. And once he gets that, he'll be better.
George, very quickly, how important is it for him to finish strong because he has not had a good second half?
It's very important, I think, for him to go home. Now, I say that, but when you're looking at our pitching staff and you're saying for next year, who is a certain guy? Who is a guy in a rotation? Well, obviously, he's one of those guys. So you have a little bit more of a relaxed mode going in. If I'm Yoeli Chacin, I go home and I get my body fit, number one. I don't pick up a baseball. I get my body fit. In preparation for when I start throwing, I'll be ready to go even that much more.
All right, good advice. Chacin and Latos, Rockies and Padres. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Ford Super Duty. Built stronger, tougher, better. Built Ford tough. Ford Super Duty. Drive what? By CenturyLink. Quest is now CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com. By Jack in the Box for a limited time. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. So welcome back to lower downtown Denver on a cool late summer night. The Rockies and Padres getting together. Cameron Maybin will again lead things off for San Diego. And he'll be followed in Bud Black's Southwest Airlines lineup by Jason Bartlett. Nick Hundley will bat third. Then Kyle Blanks in the cleanup role. Orlando Hudson will bat fifth. Jeremy Hermida will be next. Aaron Cunningham hit a 2-run home run last night. Andy Perino really the only change from yesterday. He's in at third base. And Chacín's first pitch of the ball game just a tad bit in. And it's ball one. Home plate umpire is Doug Eddings. And this is slowly hit up the third base line, gloved in foul ground by Kevin Kuzminov. 1-1 as we glance at some more numbers on Chacín, making his 30th start. Frazier.
Well, and again, you start to dissect. You look at a lot of this. The walks obviously have been prevalent, the most in the National League with 84 among starting pitchers. But then you see opponents average 228. Could there have been a break somewhere? You know, could he have had those games where he lost 2-1, 3-2, or 3-0, where the offense would have come through? What would have happened there? Because realistically, his last 14 starts have not been good. 3-8 with an ERA near 5.
Maybin back in the box, got his breath again. Hitting .372 against the Rockies this year. Here's the 1-1. It's hit in center field, and Dexter Fowler has it. Let's take a look at the rest of the gloves tonight for Colorado. Well, the Rockies were hoping to get Tulowitzki and or Helton back today. They're probably going to have to wait, in the case of Tulowitzki, at least one more day. EY and Smith in the outfield. Kuzminov, Tommy Field, Mark Ellis, Jordan Pacheco in the infield. Rosario's behind the plate. Now, Tommy Field was not in the original starting lineup. It was going to be Hector Gomez, but for the third straight ball game, Hector had to back out with a back spasm issue. Boy, that's a bullet right back up the middle by Bartlett.
He's put together a pretty nice second half. Most steals he's ever had in his career was 30 a year ago in Tampa. He's 23 right now. Here's the line drive fastball. Came right back up, whizzing by Chacín's head. He gave a valiant effort to try to knock it down with the glove, but it was well bind by then.
You know, some of the numbers, when you compare and contrast this year to last year, now the records are similar, George. He's a 500 pitcher right now. For Chacín, the stuff is much better than that. The average suggests he should have more wins. The walks are up, and the strikeouts, which isn't the most important thing, but he was a guy that would strike out a hitter an inning, maybe even a little bit better than that. They've gone way down. Is that a concern to you?
No, because he's learning to pitch to contact, and if you have defense behind you, that's great. You know, to me, it's the wow factor. Everybody goes, oh, he throws 95, or he throws 93, or he struck out 10, he struck out 9. To me, that's not a big deal, because most of his strikeouts came on his hard slider. Outs are the big deal. You know, guys that work deep into ball games, that's a big deal to me.
1 ball, 1 strike. And as George mentioned, a guy who runs at first base, and Jason Bartlett, 23 bags and 33 attempts. This is out of play. And it is a 1-2 count. Tonight is Tuesday. Thus, it is our second to last text to booth night. Text chair followed by a space, and then your question is 720-720. It's brought to you by Office Liquidators, Colorado's largest selection of mesh back chairs. Hundley at the plate with a 1-2 count. Bartlett not moving, and this is fouled off. Nick hitting .385 in September. Since coming off the DL, he has really swung the bat well. Padres, with their win against the Rockies yesterday, have won 4 of the 7 encounters here at Coors Field. The Rockies went 6-3 at Petco. Pulled to third. It came up on Kuzminov, and Hundley will reach. Ball hopped up. And we'll have to look at it again, see where it went off of Kevin Kuzminov. That is why they call it the hot corner. You don't often get to pick your hop at third.
No, you don't. I mean, he tried to drop to the one knee. He's going to bury it with his body. He's going to pick up his second air in a Rockies uniform. Zip ball came at him pretty quick, but it caught right in the heel of the glove when it took that last hop.
So 2 on, and Kyle Blanks will come up.
He's getting opportunities like Rizzo got some opportunities with men in scoring position. But he struggled this year, just a 145 average, 8 for 55.
Yeah, he's been poor with runners in scoring position. And Rizzo has been poor, 2 for 27. Rizzo not in the lineup tonight. And it's a 2-strike count on Kyle Blanks. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. It's amazing what will transpire between April and September in a season, especially one where you've had maybe more than your fair share of injuries. You look out there and you got Eric Young in left field. In April, that wasn't happening. Dexter was in center, Smith in right. 0-2 misses. Kuzminov was with the Oakland A's. At shortstop, Tommy Field was with Tulsa, as in the Drillers, Double-A baseball. Mark Ellis was with the Oakland A's. Jordan Pacheco was in Colorado Springs. Willeen Rosario was in Tulsa. One-two. Ground ball to third. Kuzminov did a great job to come up with that baseball. Man, you talk about back-to-back tough chances. First and third, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Orlando Hudson.
Saved a run for Chassin right there with that diving stab and then a throw into second base. Kuzminov a little bit on the line because you got a pull hitter up. He's able to dive, get to his feet, and then a snap throw over to Ellis. And I liked what Ellis did at second base too. When he caught the baseball, he looked as if he was going to attempt to go on, because a lot of runners at third will go ahead and take a big turn as if they're going to go to home to see if the throw went that way. And then nobody moved. He ate the baseball. Now he tried to get the ground ball and get out of this inning.
And this one is going to squeak through the right side, and a run for the Padres here in the first. Orlando Hudson with his 42nd RBI. And you go back to early in the ball game yesterday, Orlando Hudson was in the middle of the Padres offense. Blanks went first to third. Jeremy Hermida at the plate. Hermida's never faced Chassin. 1-strike count. That run is unearned for what it's worth. It's up on the board.
Well, the Padres haven't won a lot of games this year. It's been a struggle, obviously. 66 wins. But when they score first, they're 43 and 21. When the opponent scores first, 23 and 67. So you're pretty much hoping you don't give up a run, and you got to. In the first, you got a chance.
I'll tell you what, George. You break down their record, the Padres' record, and it's really strange in that they're a 500 team when they play the National League East. They're a 500 team when they play the Central. 17 and 17 against the Central, 19 and 19 against the East. They were 6 and 9 in interleague play, but against the West, 24 and 43.
Not good. Nearly 20 games under 500. It's going to make it a difficult time for you to have success. And I know Bud Black's a good manager, and I think he's done a good job with what he's had to work with. He's had a lot of injuries to deal with this year.
One, two, strike three on the inside corner. So Chacin punches out Jeremy Hermida. But in the inning, a run on a couple hits and also an error. And the Rockies trail 1-0. Latos. Eric Young will lead things off, batting .226. He'll be followed by the guy who had the only hit last night, Mark Ellis. He had a 2-run home run against Corey Lukey to break up his no-hitter with 2 outs in the 6th inning. That was it for the Rockies. Dexter Fowler, for the first time in his big league career, hitting third. Seth Smith to follow. Then Jordan Pacheco, Kuzminoff, Willeen Rosario's hit a couple of home runs since coming to the big leagues. Tommy Field and pitcher Chacin.
Well, a lot of things going on with this guy this year. Pretty good numbers, though. 167, the opposition 240. Here's a number for you. He doesn't like pitching when the lights come on. 2-9 with a 4 ERA at nighttime. You look back at a year ago, 14 and 10, 292. The opposition hit 217 this year. You saw those numbers, 7 and 14 with a 373. The opposition has hit 240.
One of the things they've been working with him on is not pacing himself in their mind like he has been. In other words, they feel like he needs to, early in the ball game, get after it with his fastball instead of guiding it up there.
Be more aggressive. A lot of guys will try to, and it's a fine line, and I understand what they're talking about. But there's guys that have the ability to pitch at 89, 92, and then all of a sudden you get a couple of guys on, and where'd the 95 come from? You know, well, he saved the extra and paced his way through the game, but that's a big learning process for guys to figure out as pitchers, particularly young guys.
He's a big dude. Here's the 1-2 count, and the curveball is hit up the first base line, and Latos, I think, initially wanted to tag EY, but he couldn't get it out of his glove. 1-3 on the putout. That'll bring up Mark Ellis.
I think, you know what I think, Drew? I think that he went over and he got a hold of the baseball right here. I'm going to take one step, tag him, and EY was by him. He was like, okay, I'm not going to dive for him, miss, and he's safe, or have the ball fall out of my glove and he's safe. I don't need that speed at first base. I want to get the out.
Ellis's home run yesterday, his 6th in a Rockies uniform. Mark takes strike one. Righties have hit just .209 this year against Latos. This was not a cheapie he hit last night against Corey Lupke.
No, it wasn't. It was the only hit in the ball game for the Rockies that drove in 2 runs. It just broke up everything with one swing of the bat. But that's all the Rockies could do in last night's ball game.
Ball and 2 strikes on Ellis, who's hitting 11 of his last 12 to the tune of .319. Kyle Blanks, George, just noticed this, must have hurt himself in that at bat. He went around because Anthony Rizzo's now in the ball game at first base.
Yeah, I looked down and I said,
it's an even up switch.
I started to look. Does Blanks throw left-handed? No, he throws right-handed. I'm like, we got a new guy over there. Last couple of days, folks, there's been a lot of erasing in Drew and I's book.
And already you got a red mark on there. And Dexter hits a slow bouncer to Hudson. I'll tell you what, that almost came up on Orlando. 1-2-3 start for Latos. 1-0 Padres as we go to the second at Coors Field.
Our way to the top of the second inning. A bit of an update for you on Rockies infielder Ian Stewart. Not able to swing the bat because of nerve damage suffered in his wrist. However, he has been around the Rockies clubhouse on this homestand. As far as the immediate future for Stewart, well, he's headed to the Instructional League, and then the Rockies, Jim Tracy and his staff, want him to play winter ball in Hermosillo, Mexico, on Vinny Castilla's old team. Vinny Castilla saying he might take some at bats away from Ian Stewart. Not that he's playing anymore, but despite a very rough season, Ian Stewart said that he wants to be back with the Colorado Rockies next season. He says he does not need a change of scenery to get things going. You'll remember Ian Stewart suffered that knee injury in spring training, and he wasn't really able to get anything going at any level in pro ball here at the big leagues or down in AAA. Colorado Springs now dealing with the wrist injury, but he will be working out extensively this winter, guys, and then hopefully back at spring training and back with the Rockies in his mind next season.
All right, Alana, thanks for that update. And in fairness to Ian, did he struggle mightily at the big league level? Absolutely. His numbers in AAA were not bad. He had 14 home runs down there and hit in the mid 270s. But it's all about, especially for a guy like Stewart, who has done it at the big league level, an 18 home run season, a 25 home run season. This year he'd like to push delete and move on, and to his credit, he's going to do all the things that Alana discussed to get ready for spring training 2012.
He's 26. He's a young kid, so he's got plenty of time to get that back. You know, but I think it all starts, first of all, between his ears and then in his heart. Is this what I really want to go do? I mean, I want to be the best and play at the elite level that I can play at. That's the question you got to answer yourself sometimes. I mean, I can sit here tonight and sit here and tell you, oh, this is going to be a tough play.
That's a fair ball. Kuzminov jumps to his feet.
Great effort.
Terrific effort. Cunningham easily was going to beat it, so it's an infield hit. Boy, Kuzminov had a smash at him. He's had one to his left. He's had one to his right.
Yeah, the uni's getting dirty all over. It's the front, it's the left, it's the right, as Drew said, and then now the strong throw over, just not in time to get Cunningham. You know, Drew, when I walked away from the game, I was perfectly happy to walk away, but I was 33 years old. I didn't want to play anymore. I really didn't. I was tired of bus rides, but the thing that irritated me more than anything, and I mean this sincerely, was the unappreciation of the game by young players. It bothered me that they didn't show up till 4 o'clock. It bothered me that they, didn't want to do things with the teammates. They didn't understand what it was like to put a ring on your finger. And this is an individual sport, but it's a team sport. And if everybody performs up to their level, then you got a chance to put a ring on. And that's what you play for. Because if you win rings, you get money. I mean, it all works hand in hand. Why do you think New York spends the money they do? They want to win a ring, but yet all the guys they have in there have the same goal, win a ring, and they're getting paid to do it.
Absolutely. And typically with teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox, especially the Yankees, with most of their guys being veteran guys, they have either made a lot of money or in the midst of making a ton of money. So instead of there being a little bit of self-centeredness about, hey, you know what, if I have a good year, I go to arbitration and I can get paid, they don't worry about that.
No. Could care less about that. And then they have the East Coast pressure of the media to win, too.
2-strike count on Andy Perino. Pacheco going to run to the bag himself. On the fielder's choice, Cunningham to scoring position. That'll bring up Latos. Who wants tacos? Fans, when the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies tacos special. Latos is 4 for 50 this year. Now, one of the 4 was a home run.
I think the other thing that plays into the success of a player is fear. Everybody asks me that question. What do you mean fear? Fear I'm going to lose my job. Fear I'm not going to get to play the game anymore. As soon as you get complacent or you think you're not, I'll never get replaced here. I'm going to be here my whole life. I'm going to play 12 years in the big leagues with the Colorado Rockies. And, so what if I win 5 games, or what if I hit 250 1 year, 260? If you don't have a fear and looking over your shoulder to see what other guys are doing, then you're going to be a happy little camper with whatever you do every day. Fear is a wonderful thing in the game.
(3-0). Boy, we've seen this before, haven't we? With Chassin, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, the focus goes, and typically, or at least on a number of occasions, it's happened against the opposition pitcher.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. If I'm managing the San Diego Padres, I give Latos take 2 times in a row. I want to make him throw me a strike twice in a row.
Oh, you got
before
it.
he
You
swings
got
the
to
bat.
do that.
Well, a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys swing the bat on a 3-1 count. I've seen that a lot.
Well, he was. You're right. I'm surprised. But then again, you know what? 66 and 88 against 70 and 83. So maybe some of the conventional thought gets thrown out the window.
The fundamental side should never leave the game.
Well, you'd think. 3-2 count on Latos. Big man, 6'6", 230 pounds, native of Florida. was an 11th round pick. He was a draft and follow. One of the final years, George, of the draft and follow. Chassin will get the out at first. Good decision. Two outs. That'll bring up Cameron Maben.
Zeke and Grant Junction. How is Juan Nicasio doing? Let me tell you what, he's doing very well. You can see him without the brace there in the dugout. I think the important factor for him is the ability to go down to spring training. I mean, the instructional league, and start to do some baseball activities. But it you know, as Dan O'Dowd has told us, and so is the medical staff, it's a long road.
Well, the great thing is he got that off today. I mean, at 6 weeks, he had the hard neck brace removed today. I mean, you had the fracture and the surgery on the C1, but you also had a severe concussion. It's an ugly incident, but Nicasio on the road to recovery. You know, typically when we talk about how the rotation's kind of unraveled with, you know, with Jimenez being traded, injuries. De La Rosa going down with the Tommy John surgery. Juan Nicasio, and it should not be lost, was starting to really throw the baseball. I mean, he threw the ball well initially, but he did a lot of really good things.
Well, you know, and you look at Nicasio and you see how many starts he's had over the span. It was 13 starts. Out of those 13 starts, he probably threw the ball well about 9 times. So, you know, he threw 71 innings, 72, so he's averaging right at 6+, almost 7 innings per start, and that's an innings eater.
And the fastball command was outstanding, and to illustrate that even further, 58 strikeouts, only 18 walks.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to throw strikes.
3-to-1 ratio for a puppy.
Same thing that he did in Tulsa, same thing he did in Nashville, same thing he did in Modesto. He threw strikes. And the thing is, he's a little more mature than most Latin players because he's going to turn 26 this winter. So, I mean, he's a little bit older. He was a late sign by the Rockies.
0-2, swung on and missed. And Rosario will get the out at first base to Jordan Pacheco. Good job of pitching after a leadoff single by Aaron Cunningham. Middle of 2, 1-0 Padres. Rockies will play their final home game of 2011 tomorrow afternoon. We'll be on the air at 12:30 with a pregame show here on Root Sports, and then it's off to Houston, Texas. And that ball game Thursday doesn't have the red next to it, but it should. That ball game will be on as well. The rest of the games will all be on Root Sports. Seth Smith takes ball 1. He'll be followed by Jordan Pacheco and Kevin Kuzminoff here in the second. Shift is on, and this is pulled foul. Smith is 3 for his last 25 at the plate. 285 average, 15 home runs, and 58 driven in for Smith in 446 at bats. Also 30 doubles, 9 triples. And he gets underneath this one.
Fans, want to remind all of you that I know this season hadn't gone the way everybody thought it would go, but I tell you what, there's 20, 40, and full season suite packages ready for next year. Make that phone call and give the Rockies an opportunity to put you in one of these suites. 303-312-2444. There's a lot of other great amenities to getting one of these suites for the game. It's fun to watch it from there. You get an opportunity to give the Rockies a phone call and set that up for next year.
Pacheco takes outside, ball 1. And Jordan hits this ball to right field. And Jeremy Hermida makes a catch. Well, here comes the former Padre Kevin Kuzminoff. Chatting up Nick Hundley as he walks to the plate. Padres have always been, like the Rockies, comprised of real affable guys, easy to talk to, and they've always had a close clubhouse.
Yeah, when they win, it's, you know, you think about it, and I think all of that started with Klesko. You know, when he was there, because everybody liked him, they liked the way he played the game. Who's the right fielder, Drew? I'm trying to think.
Brian Giles.
Brian Giles played for a long time there. Was very good in right field for them. Still in the community.
Oh, Brian's San Diego native. And Brian was a character. Brian was a good player, hard-nosed player, and he's a character. He kept that clubhouse loose. You didn't want to turn your back on Brian, because you know what, you could be the butt of the joke. In a good way.
Oh, absolutely.
3-0 on Kuzminoff.
Who was the former catcher? Went to third, hit all the home runs. What? Come on. I'm seeing him right in front of me.
Phil Nevin?
Phil Nevin, now managing in AAA.
You know what? You're getting that. You okay?
Well, Doug usually has that for me.
You have his number on speed dial on your phone.
I know. Should have just looked on there. I'd have had it.
Kuzminoff, the first Rocky to reach. That'll bring up Willeen Rosario.
My speed dial is so much different than everybody else's in America. Mine's pictures. I know that guy. We'll call him.
Let me see your phone.
Nope.
And Rosario takes a strike. A month of big league education for Willeen Rosario and Jordan Pacheco. Tommy Field outside. Of course, in the case of Pacheco and Rosario, they are playing most every day. Pacheco has been, and Rosario getting a day here and there to take a break, and Ionetta will catch, but they're getting the bulk of the playing time. And that breaking pitch, you could tell, fooled him a little bit. And that's 1-2.
That's going to be the one pitch he's going to have to handle. I mean, I've talked to him a little bit about this already on air. And I noticed it the other day with San Francisco. Nobody on, nobody out. He got a couple of fastballs and he hit a double. As soon as somebody got on, they started spinning the breaking ball at him.
There goes Kuzminoff, and this is fouled back and out of play. 5 of his first 7 hits in the big leagues have gone for extra bases. Possible not to be impressed with his power. He's got a ton of raw power. But as George said, he's going to have to deal with the sliders and curveballs, good ones at this level. Kuzminov walked. He's left at first. We'll go to the 3rd. Padres up 1-0. Text your comments during the game. See what you and fellow Rockies fans have on their mind each and every ball game. Toyota Talk, we'll do it in the 6th inning. George threw this out yesterday. We want you to know now with what, about 8 days left in the regular season, who's going to win the wild card in each league.
Mets are leading St. Louis 4-2 right now. Atlanta is leading Florida 4-0.
How about the end of that Atlanta-Florida game yesterday? Chipper Jones loses the bouncer in the lights. It ends the game. I mean, it's a 2-hopper right to him. Big chopper right to him. And all of a sudden he has to cover up because he can't see the baseball. And Omar Infante behind in the count. I believe it was a 1-2 pitch. George hits one out, walk-off home run. Good night. Have a nice day. Else. Drive home carefully.
Wow.
And Atlanta's been stung a number of times lately. And here's the great irony in the American League. The Boston Red Sox are the biggest New York Yankee fans right now.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? 5-0 Yankees in the 6th over Tampa right now. Boston leads Baltimore 5-4 in the 5th. Washington won 4-3 in the first ball game of a doubleheader against Philadelphia today. They're leading 3-0 in the 8th inning against Philadelphia.
How tough is that for all the New Englanders?
Very happy right now. Have to get out to all those pinstripe shirts.
Yeah, rooting for the boys in the Bronx. Nick Hundley with a base hit. There's a guy that's going to be upset when the season's over. Obviously, every player wants to play in the postseason, but Nick Hundley has been just scorching hot the last couple of months. Well, time for another text the booth question. I'm looking over here because that's where I can see the question. Drew, does your hand still hurt from catching that foul ball last night?
It hurt. Where's the pin? You got to wear the pin 24 hours.
I took it off.
Why?
Sorry. Why?
Who got it?
Gabe put it right over there. No, I put it.
You know, right over there. And I got to let you know something here in a minute. You made a nice catch on this ball. I'm going to give you 100% of credit, but I don't think you were very smart. See, I mean, your hand was killing you. And all those fans wanted you to toss the ball out to them, but I was worried somebody would get hurt down there, and I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
No,
you took it home and you put it. Did you put it on your nightstand? Tell the truth.
No, you want to know what? I think it's still in the bag. It's going to go in the ball bag. It's a BP ball.
No, it's not. It's a game ball. You caught in the booth, barehanded. You need to put it on the mantle. You need to date it, put everything on there. The two teams. Who fouled it off? Who fouled it off to you?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
He's going to the ball bag. It's going to be hit around by the boys. This is a different angle of the same thing, huh?
Yeah.
You know, so I guess we were getting a rough ride, George, because you reached out to give me a high five.
You were hurt.
And our friends at the MLB Network.
Did they get on you?
Well, I guess they were teasing. I didn't see this, teasing the fact that I swung my hand and looked like Cliffy and Normie on Cheers. We couldn't connect on a high five. Anthony Rizzo is retired. That'll bring up Orlando
See,
Hudson.
that was your
with
whole
Nick Hundley
problem.
now
Why you didn't get to play past college? You kept using a glove. You should have played barehanded. See, you should have played barehanded. Leave me hanging like this. Here, now here's your button. Let's put your button back on.
From that angle, that looks pretty funny.
Here, turn around. Come here. What? We got to get your button back on because you got to wear it for 24 hours.
There you go.
And here's the other thing. Did that hurt when it's sticky?
No,
it won't go through the shirt. What is this?
Listen, if I want a piercing, I'll do it on my own.
Hey, by the way.
What?
Can you clean up the place up here? This is not your office. He's got a lot of junk back there.
My office is really neat.
Oh,
You want to know why?
Because you never go in it? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the one at home.
Oh, that's a mess. That's a mess. Hudson had the RBI single his first time up.
Now don't take the button. If you take the button off, it's got to go home. It's got to go with the ball right on the man.
See, all you ex-big leaguers, you want nothing to do with those balls because you caught enough.
I retired.
You
I'm
retired.
done. I
You're
don't
done.
need to catch one of those. You keep rubbing.
Plus,
You've been rubbing
you were,
your hand all night
no,
yesterday
my
too.
hand's fine. Plus, you were a pitcher, so you were just pointing. You pointed at me. You said,
Right.
"Hey, that's yours."
It's over here. He's got it. That's exactly right.
3-0 on Hudson. And Chacin with his first walk of the game. And that'll bring up Jeremy Hermida.
He's not going to allow Hudson to swing it back. That's a good thing. 341 average. But now you go to left-hander with a little more oomph in the bat when he's right.
Time for our Geico quote of the day. Mark Ellis on playing without Todd Helton, Carlos Gonzalez, and Troy Tulowitzki. It's what we do. I don't care who's out there and who's not out there. This is our job.
Well, and unfortunately, got a lot of practice at it in Oakland. That's the downside to it. Because there was a lot of injuries there. There was a lot of revolving door there. Mark's pretty happy here. You know, I mean, he enjoys it. The other day at the hotel where I stay here in Denver, there was 5 people walking into the hotel, and they yelled at me and said, "We're from where Mark's from." It's like, South Dakota? They're like, yeah. They'd driven down to watch Mark Ellis play.
He's done everything he could have asked since the trade. And that quote kind of represents who Mark is. He is professional in every way. Here's the 1-0 on the ground to short. Tommy Field, good pickup in the throw to Jordan Pacheco. So there was a hit and a walk. Nothing else across. 1-0 Padres. Tommy Field will lead it off. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Alana Rizzo from the ballpark. And we welcome in a good friend, Joe Scott. Joe, I mean, we have to start out with the news of the day. So DU's going to the Pac-12.
Hey, you know what? Anything can happen these days in college sports. Let me tell you that.
Oh, they're starting football. Have you heard?
Right. Well, I mean, that's what's ruling the roost. You know, that's what's
sure
making
is.
all these
You better believe
decisions.
it.
So
yeah, it is.
It is a crazy time right now.
You know, obviously, I'm kidding you, and I don't know if this is fair because we're going to talk about your basketball program. But can this work? These mega conferences, Joe? Aren't schools are going to get lost, right?
Well, I mean, you know, it's all a fight for that dollar, you know, and that stability as it relates to the dollar, whether or not, you know, rivalries, location, alums, you know, none of those things are really being taken into consideration, and that's really been the history of college sports. So it's definitely a different time and changing priorities, and, you know, it's going to come out, you know, in over an amount of time. Is it good? Is it bad? But I know that you're going to lose that little bit of, that's what makes college sports be college sports.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. 2 balls and a strike on Tommy Field, leading things off for the Rockies in their half of the 3rd inning. To me, and I know the Aggies are upset with the Longhorns and the new network they have down there, but when you're taking schools that have played each other for over a century and now they're going to different places in the country, different conferences, it's not a good thing.
No, and you know, it's going to have something to do with alumni giving and alumni donations, and
that's like T-Bone Pickens said. You know, if OU goes there, we're going there.
Right? No, I mean, he's
I'm
going. Right,
yeah, we're going to go.
He needs to follow his
yeah,
rival.
Absolutely, has to.
You know, and you know, Utah and BYU. The big thing there is we lost a rival. We lost a game that we've played for 120 years.
Crazy,
and it's crazy. You know, so what are the negative effects of that? We're not thinking about those things right now. We're thinking about the dollars. And, you know, anytime I think when you I mean, money makes a lot of the decisions, but oftentimes you find out that you made the decisions for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So, you know, who knows how it's going to shake out.
Well, we didn't have you up here to for us all to get on our soapbox
the NCAA
about
commissioner
to chat about and play talk radio on what's transpiring right now in college athletics. But you have a club coming back at DU this year that, last I checked, most of your 4-year starters are back. You're getting a kid back who wasn't available last year, who I know can play because I've seen him play. So you got to be excited.
Very excited. I mean, you know, you're talking about Rob Lewis. He's a 5th-year senior. He's been our 2nd leading scorer and leading rebounder throughout his career. And now you add him back to what you said. When you do that, we have like 100% of our scoring, 100% of our rebounding back. And they're all veterans, tons of veterans, which, you know, is going to pay dividends because we've made a lot of progress. We've built a solid foundation, and now we're going to be playing this year with guys who've done a lot, played a lot. And, you know, because of that, we think we got a freshman or 2 we think can throw in there and help us too. So we are excited, and, you know, we're looking forward to the season.
Well, the best part of that is what you're telling me. You've got some veteran guys that could show younger guys how to play the game. So now when they leave, it's not such a huge drop off. These young kids are going to be filtered in with the rest of them.
Well, you guys know it's called a program. It's called building a program. It takes a while to build a program, and that's the essence of a program. The older guys show the younger guys, this is who we are, this is how we do it. Then they take that mantle and go forward, and then that goes year to year to year. And that's what we're building there, and we're really looking forward to it because we think we have some good players. We got the right kinds of guys. We know what we're doing. They know what they're doing. They're actually allowing me as a coach, hey, can we do this over here? Can we try to do something a little bit different so we're not doing the same things? And it's really doing a lot for me as a coach. And I think that's another thing. Oh, there you go, Drew.
That's not a good decision. Eric Young to 2nd, and Eric Young's going to try to go to 3rd, and he is going to be out at 3rd. Matt Latos made the tag. I don't know if he got spiked or not. Joe, can you stick around?
Yeah, that'd be great, Drew.
Absolutely.
This is great.
Good deal. And you know what? He did get spiked. So EY's out at 3rd base. We'll go to the 4th. 1-0 Padres. More with Joe Scott in a moment. Nick Hundley trying obviously to be quick, fires it down the right field line, scooped up by Jeremy Hermida, and then the Cardinals in, making the first or third out there. And Matt Latos, let's see if he gets spiked. Oh, you know what? It was a shoulder to the nose. Matt Latos holding them up. Everybody loving on one another. And as it turns out, it was an exciting out. Not a good baseball play.
Not like you said, you don't make the last out at third, correct?
Exactly. You're 100% correct. And the last, kind of like the last guy on the floor, you want to shoot the basketball, and he's one that shoots with 1 second left.
And there's a reason why he's open, because he can't shoot. They left him open on purpose.
They weren't covering me. No wonder you're hitting 10%.
Exactly.
Come over and sit down.
Hey, Coach, I want to talk about a couple of. One of the great things about your program is you've been able to keep some kids in state. I know, listen, population-wise, Colorado's not the biggest state in the Union. There are some good basketball players that come out of the state, but it's not like you have 50 Division I kids lined up every year to play. You kept 2 kids out of the same program, Highlands Ranch, and I know they were very talented. I got a glimpse of them a little bit, and it was nice. They committed pretty early to you.
Yep, we got them both, Brett Olson and Marcus Bird, and they're both good players. I mean, they're both going to help us, and it's good. Highlands Ranch is a good program. They have, a good coach. We've made a push to say we're going to recruit college kids. We have an early. I'm not allowed to talk about. Break the rules. So,
okay.
But we continue to do that going forward. And as far as high school basketball this year in the state of Colorado, it's a very good year. There's a lot of Division I players. I mean,
what's the number?
I'd say that we're up to for Colorado, like you said, we're at 10.
Which
10
is
or maybe,
outstanding.
which is a lot for the state of Colorado in 1 year.
I remember Jeff Bizdelic told me, and this goes back about 2-3 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, that at one point he didn't feel in one particular class there might not have been a Big 12 player in the entire state.
That's true. I mean, and here, what you find in states like Colorado, where you said population, it's the population centered in Denver and Colorado Springs, basically. There's not that many people. What you find is it's very cyclical. So this year's a good year. Maybe next year will be, and then then you'll catch a year that's not a good year. So what we do is just say we're in a pretty good position being a mid-major. We recruit the state as hard and as well as we can, and we feel strongly we're going to get some good guys, and we're glad to get those 2 that you mentioned, because
I want to ask you a question about the Colorado kids, because obviously if they're good enough to play Division I, they're going to shine with the 6 or 7 other guys on their high school team. When you go out in the summertime, hunt them down on that AAU team where they're with 8 or 9 athletes, and let's see what they do.
Well, and
how they blend.
And that's what it is. You look at them there, and sometimes what you see is a kid who's on his high school team. He actually does a little bit more in the AAU team because of what you said. He's playing with better players. He's playing against, quote unquote, better players.
Get pushed a little.
And then you find out, hey, this guy's a little bit better than what we thought.
Right.
So it's always good to see him play in different settings, on their high school team, on their AAU team, against different competitions, because you get to really find out if the kid is your kind of kid. And we found the kids in Rob Lewis, a Colorado guy.
Yep.
So we're going to continue to do that. And then, we recruit Texas, we recruit Oklahoma, and that's why our move into the WAC is going to really be helpful to us, because where we recruit, people know the WAC. Where we recruit, they don't know the Sun Belt, so it's not a knock on the Sun Belt. It's just the WAC, I think, can be really beneficial to us.
The travel will be better for you as well.
No question. We're not going to have to go 2 and 1 time zones away all the time. So that being said, we have a very good non-conference schedule this year as well. And we're really looking forward to. We've stepped up our level of competition. Our players have to step up, and we're going to find out if we do it this year.
Good for you. I know Wyoming's coming down, and as always, we'll have some games for all of you right here on Root Sports with you. Joe, it's great to see you as always.
Great seeing you guys. Looking forward to working with you this year.
Absolutely. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
All right, Joe Scott, head coach at the University of Denver. 1-0 Padres.
come see you.
Bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 San Diego. Again, our thanks to Joe Scott, the outstanding head coach of the University of Denver Pioneer basketball team. Time to check in also with Alana Rizzo with today's Fast Cash Sideline Report. Is brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Possibly the best gift Padres reliever Josh Spence's parents ever gave him was when he graduated from high school in December of 2005. Now, Josh is a native of Australia, and in that same month, his parents sent him to a baseball camp at Arizona State University in Tempe. Now, his baseball skill set was not necessarily quite up to par as the other guys he was playing with, but he had spent some time pitching on the Australian national team. But he was able to make such an impression at that camp that he was encouraged to pitch for Central Arizona College, which he did for 2 seasons, and then transferred to Arizona State University, where he was able to play baseball on scholarship for the Sun Devils. And as they say, the rest is history. He's climbed up the ladder very quickly through the minor league system, and now is an integral part of the Padres bullpen, guys.
Hey, mate.
Oh, Fraze, you never cease to amuse me. You make me laugh.
Well, you want to know what? I'm glad George made you laugh, but that was me who said it.
No, it was. Well, you actually surprise me when you make me laugh. So
Yeah. Hey, Alana.
Yeah.
Hey, enjoy the rest of 2011. We'll talk to you again in 2012.
Fair enough. You do have the control.
Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going?
Goodwin already kicked me off the broadcast for the remaining week.
She took a shot at me. That'll be the
What'd
last
she
shot.
say?
That's the last shot. First of all, she committed the cardinal sin. I'm going to tell you. She committed the cardinal sin. She confused me with you.
Well, hey, mate could sound like either one of you.
Alana, I have a lot more hair, and I'm about 14 inches taller than him.
The looks are not similar, obviously, but the voice at that very
Hey,
moment
listen,
for
let me tell you what, Alana.
That's where the similarities end, by the way.
I tell you what, this season has spiraled out of control.
Hey,
even
Alana,
for us.
I just want to say this, okay? And I'm not being mean when I say it. Drew catches balls with his hands. You do it with your head.
I do what? I catch it with my head? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
you catch baseballs with your head. He uses his hand.
Cat-like reflexes. A stuffed cat, but cat-like reflexes. I haven't been hit this year.
I know you've been good.
3 times last year, not
move.
1 time this year.
I don't know where you are, but move right now, where you get whacked.
1-1 on Dexter. Alana has not been on the DL yet this year.
Got 9 games left.
Well, don't ask for it. Don't be begging. It'll happen.
I must stay out of camera wells.
I think the Padres got you last year, didn't they?
Giants twice, and actually the Blue Jays. Well, Cargo when we played the Blue Jays, because remember it was raining really bad when they were here, and it flew out of Cargo's hand and it nailed me right in the side. And then both of the balls, the one in the head and the one in the back, we were playing the Giants. So I'm cheering for the Diamondbacks at this point.
2-2, and 6 people stepped over you in San Francisco. And who came to your aid?
You were the first one to come to my aid. I appreciate that very much. I was a little dazed.
You got a friend with you?
Do I? Behind me?
Yeah,
that was funny. Do I have a friend? Do I really? Where is he? Is he on my shoulder? Do you have a friend that sits on your shoulder and talks to you? No, you have a very pretty little redheaded girl.
Is this still going on? We're still talking.
Look behind you. The cute
She's
little redheaded
adorable.
girl.
Oh, yeah, she's very cute. Very sweet. They're talking about you right now.
She's taking a bite out of row R there.
She's very cute.
Seth Smith will come up with 2 outs and nobody on.
So did Lana get tired of talking to us? She done with us?
She's done. Rockies have 1 hit, the bunt single by EY that actually ended the 3rd inning. Run on 4 hits for San Diego.
They employ the Seth Smith swingaroo. I'm going to start calling it the swingaroo, Doug, instead of the shift. There's the swingaroo. Because this guy and this guy's not where they normally are. Sam, what have you done to the telestrator again? That's a little. Did that come up yellow on TV at home?
Inside.
Sam, did you set that today? Or did Drew set it?
Latos strikes out Smith, and once again they'll have to record the out at first base. And that's 4 strikeouts for Matt Latos. 1-0 San Diego. Time for the Excel Energy high efficiency inning. Last inning was a good one for Chacin. Aaron Cunningham was the leadoff hitter, and he hit a fly ball to Eric Young in left field. Andy Perino was next, a weak ground ball to first. And then Matt Latos struck out. Brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Cameron Maben for the 3rd time. He's 0 for 2. A fly ball center field and a strikeout. Only run for the Padres in the 1st inning. Single by Bartlett. Then there was an error on a Nick Hundley ground ball to 3rd by Kevin Kuzminoff. And Orlando Hudson, a 2-out roller through the right side to produce an unearned run. Swung on a miss by Maben. And the 2-1 of the North Carolina native, and that's a diving stop by Kuzminoff, and he's going to get his man. Kevin Kuzminoff has made a couple of very fine plays in this game.
Well, he's got even a smile on his face, too. He loves to do that, and you love to do it against your former ball club. That's another part of it. Because quite honestly, if he doesn't feel that, you're not going to get Maben. He's sick.
Jason Bartlett, a single and a pop out.
Let's watch him running up that first base line right at the very end, and a little bit of that sprinter stretch at the end trying to get to the tape. Thought maybe he might have disrupted something, but I don't think he did.
Easy play for Tommy Field. 2 outs. That's what you want to see with Chacin, George. A lot of ground balls. When he's on, he's one of the best in the National League at producing ground balls.
Not walking people. You're putting the ball in play. Guess what? You're getting a lot of outs.
A reminder, coming up in the 6th inning, we'll do Toyota Talk as we do every night. Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comments to 720-720. We want you to comment on who you think will win the wild card in each league. Things have tightened up considerably. Boston's leading Baltimore 5-4, but the Yankees are helping out the hated Red Sox by leading Tampa 5-0 in the Bronx. And this is Ground ball to Mark Ellis. 3 ground balls in the inning, and that's 7 in a row retired by Chassin. Now the Rockies have to get the bats going against Latos. Already, it'll be Jordan Pacheco, Kevin Kuzminoff, Willeen Rosario. Hey, we'd like to welcome all our Cams Cable viewers from Alliance, Colorado. Root Sports and the Rockies. Obviously appreciate your great support. Send us a message on the Root Sports Facebook page. Let us know your favorite haunt to root for the Rockies. Alliance, Colorado, and Cams Cable viewers. Matt Latos has been very good. He's allowed 3 runs or less in 14 of his last 15 starts. Kind of like that run he had last year where he set a big league record 15 starts in a row. He allowed 2 runs or less. He has that kind of stuff. On the outside corner, a strike to Jordan Pacheco. And a breaking ball for a strike. Here's another Texas Booth question. John in Salt Lake City. A lot of Rockies fans over in Utah. Who do you see as the everyday third baseman next year? Well, it's a very good question. Obviously, third base didn't turn out like the Rockies had hoped this year. I don't know if we can look in the crystal ball and tell you who's going to start opening day or get most of the starts, but Pacheco could be involved. They hope Ian Stewart battles back, George.
Well, I think the perfect world, Stewart's healthy, goes to Hermosillo, he gains confidence, he hits the ball great, comes spring training, have a good spring. That would be a great scenario if it happened. If it doesn't, then you're going to turn to, and I'm going to tell you right now, it will not be a Nolan Arenado. He still has to get a little bit better at a lot of different things in the game of baseball. He drove in 122 runs. You can't ignore that. But he's also just a 22-year-old kid. He's got a little ways to go in development, and then he'll probably be a part of this, and he'll be a part of it for a long time.
Well, that's a good group in Modesto. Josh Rutledge hit just a shade under 350 this year. Former Alabama star. Kent Mathis, before he got hurt, had a terrific year. Chad Bettis, Parker Frazier, heading up a good pitching staff in Modesto for Jerry Weinstein.
Yeah, and I'll tell you somebody else. Cabrera kid threw the ball well there, led the minor leagues in strikeouts. There's a kid named Marbury there that I really like. And it's a great story because he would sign with Atlanta, hurt his wrist as a player, position guy, and he drove over to Asheville just to stop in and say, can I try out for Joe? And I think Bo McLaughlin was in town, and they watched him throw, and he was 91, 92, and they said, well, we'll call you. You know, you're going home. It's the end of the season. Sure enough, as he's driving back to Chapel Hill, the phone rings and said, "We've just had 2 injuries. Can you get back here tonight?" And he went back, and here he is. Has developed his skills as a pitcher. He's got a very good split finger. He's up to 97 miles an hour now. He's a closer at Modesto. He's older, but I mean, he's a guy that has done some pretty good things.
1-2 on Kuzminov. 2-2. The Rockies have been 1 hit tonight. Again, that was the bunt single by Eric Young. They had 1 hit last night, so that's 2 hits now over their last 13 in the 3rd innings. They were outscored in the Giants series by a ton. In fact, during the 5-game losing streak, they've been outscored 48-13. (43-18).
A guy in Tulsa, too, that I'd look for big things, and I think he could go either way. He could either go where he is going to be in a starting rotation, because he proved that late in the season, is Rob Scahill, a right-hander that throws the ball pretty hard.
Well, we're talking a lot about the minor leagues, George. Here's our minor league report, brought to you by Suzuki Auto's all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. We focus on what Nolan Arenado did this year. He hit just under 300, 20 home runs for the 3rd baseman in the Cal League, and 122 RBIs.
Played really well there. And, you know, here's the thing about him. He's a young kid who I think's got a chance to be a very productive major league player. But I just think some of the things that goes on with him, to get a little more serious and accept the outs. And what I mean by that is, don't wear it on your shoulder away from home plate, or when you go out to play 3rd base the next inning. And that's all maturity, and it'll change. But man, he can hit. Holy cow, he can hit.
He can hit, and he's an athletic 3rd baseman.
See, there's a breaking ball in the dirt, and it's pitch recognition. And this is what for a young guy, and hopefully get this in before this next pitch. Look where this is. This is out in front of the plate, and he committed so early because he's so conscientious of not hitting that good curveball. He committed to swing early, and again, it's reading the pitch out of the hand. Tough kid, Willeen Rosario. There's no question about that. Came back from an ACL tear. Less than 12 months. You normally don't do that. There's the hook there, and they're going to get him.
That's 6 strikeouts for Latos in 5 innings. He's allowed that bunt single. That's it. Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by McDonald's, brighten up your day with a free small premium roast coffee at McDonald's only until September 25th. You know, the Rockies have been challenged offensively without Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Todd Helton. And They have one hit tonight as we go to the 6th inning. Anthony Rizzo, who had to come in the bottom of the 1st for Kyle Blanks, who has a mild quad strain, and that's why he was removed. So Rizzo has one at bat. A little comebacker. 2-0 is the count. 7 in a row set down by Jolie Chassin. Again, our question tonight on Toyota Talk: who do you think will win the National League wild card? Who do you think will win the American League wild card? Tampa in the American League, Atlanta in the NL. That's Douglas and Littleton, so he's thinking the Red Sox are going to collapse. Cardinals. 3 O's in there, 3-1. George, you know, we keep talking also about the Cy Young. It changes every day. Ian Kennedy went out and threw 8 innings of one-hit baseball, won his 20th.
Amazing, isn't it? Kershaw's going tonight against Lincecum in San Francisco. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
I saw a piece in Sports Illustrated literally a week ago. I was reading it today, and they had
Wait, you confused me. You saw it a week ago, but you're reading it today?
Well, I'm saying, yeah, I'm a little bit behind.
Okay.
Fouled off.
Go ahead.
No, the point of the story is that they had the race for Cy Young in the National League between 3 guys: Clayton Kershaw, Cliff Lee, who's had a great year,
and Roy
Halladay, and there was not really a mention of Ian Kennedy. One in passing. That's about it.
Is it because he doesn't have the wow stuff? He just knows how to pitch.
This ball on the ground, and Mark Ellis, he stabs it, throws to Pacheco, 1 out. Well, 12-year-old Ryan and Evergreen Rockies are going to try to bring you a couple of W's. Orlando Hudson at the plate. Hudson a single and a walk. Maybe it's somebody, George, who liked your tie today.
They do. It's the lava lamp. That's what Dougie calls it, my lava lamp. Does that look like a lava lamp to you? I don't think so. My mother-in-law gave me this tie, and I'm very proud of it. It's 22 years old.
Well, I know, because I remember seeing the late Robert Reed wear that on the Brady Bunch.
Well, that's okay. You know what? They liked it then too.
Here's the 1-1 on Hudson, and that
Who's
is
Mort Wallen?
A fair ball down the left field line. Eric Young will not have a play. Ball up into the crowd. It's a ground rule double.
True.
Yes.
Who's Mort Wallen?
You do the replay, and I'll look at your tie.
All right. Slice down the left field line off the bat of Orlando Hudson down into the corner. Once it hits there, the fan grabs a hold of it. That deadens everything down. Who's that guy? Here's another look at it right here. Fan's going to get a hold of it. As soon as it is, it just becomes a dead ball. Hit his thumb, went up into the seats. Done. Lady got the ball. She's happy. What is that?
What, this guy?
Yeah, who is that guy?
Yeah. You know what he... I'll tell you exactly who this is. That pitch is hot.
Who is it?
Mort Wallen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does business.
Doug, look him up.
He's at 30.
You got him? Let me have it, Doug.
33rd, 7th Avenue. He sells watches too on the corner.
No, he doesn't. Let me have. I know she bought this in Vegas, I think. Let me see. Who is he? What is he? Tell me he's famous. What's that? What?
8 in a row set
how about
down
this?
Before that double.
Art Deco Men's Emporium in Bally's in Vegas. So take that in your 7th Avenue with watches.
Hermida with a 2-0 count. Strikeout and a ground ball to short. 2-1.
But my tie can't win the wild card. So who do they think? Atlanta. Ted, great to have you as a fan.
This ball's hit pretty well to left field. EY chasing, and it's off the very top of the wall. Hudson will cruise in, and into second with a double is Hermida. And it's 2-0 Padres.
Last night, Hermida had a walk, a base hit, and a triple. He struck out in the 7th. Tonight, he's got a strikeout, ground out, and then now this big double, 9th RBI since being picked up by the Padres. This ball almost left the yard. It was right down the left field line, out into the corner. Lewi's giving chase on it, recognized, going to bounce off of that wall. He could not have made a play, nor could any other left fielder. Anything, recognize the flight of the ball a little better than you have to give such a long chase to the baseball.
Aaron Cunningham will be coming up as soon as Bob Apodaca is done with his conversation with Chacin. Rockies have been out hit 6-1.
Well, Chacin had everything on the ground. All of a sudden, this inning, things are starting to catch air. Double off the wall, drove in Orlando after he had hit a double down the left field line. Prior to that, he had 9 ground ball outs, just 3 fly ball outs in the game.
Speaking of that wild card race, Braves in the 9th inning leading the Marlins 4-0. Freddie Freeman's hit his 20th in that ball game. Big time Rookie of the Year candidate. Sliders in there, 1-1.
Well, like a lot of their young players, Cunningham has struggled also with runners in scoring position to the tune of 148, 4 for 27.
Here's the 1-1. Way high, 2-1. What a pitching matchup tonight, George, between the Giants and Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. You talked about that?
About 3 times.
You did?
Yeah. Kershaw and Lincecum.
Kershaw and Lincecum. There you go. Just checking out my scoreboard here. Did you have Ibanez hitting his 20th for Philly tonight?
He hit that in the first game. And he did it off of Clippard, the right-hander. And then they lost that game 4-3. And then tonight, Washington shut out Philadelphia 3-0.
Philly, had they swept, which they did not, could have reached 100 games.
Anything else you want me to let you know on the computer?
Cliff Lee lost for just the 8th time.
Yeah.
16-8. So that hurts his Cy Young candidacy. 3-1 pitch, and it's ball 4. Not the worst thing in the world. Got a force set up all around.
Young kid at the plate that hadn't done a whole lot so far.
Nope. AT&T trivia question. Justin Verlander leads the American League in wins with 24, ERA 2.29, punch outs 2.44. Who was the last pitcher to win the pitching Triple Crown? Actually leads the big leagues in all those categories, not just the American League. Chacin needs a ground ball here. 2 doubles in the inning has produced the 2nd run for San Diego. Outside.
You know, the Angels kind of jumped right back into that wild card too. They're 3.5 back, and they're winning tonight 10-5 over Toronto in the 9th inning. Texas and Oakland haven't started yet. Tampa continues to lose to the Yankees 5-0. It's in the 8th inning. Nova started for the Yankees. He had a nice little season, had 15-4. Going for his 16th tonight.
This is pitch number 95 for Chacin. Ground ball foul. Josh Rennicke up. Swung on and missed. So Chacín strikes out Perino, and that'll bring up the pitcher Latos.
Just like you said, you know, the walk wasn't the worst thing in the world, because you did get up a guy that hadn't had much time at the big league level. You're able to get the strikeout. So now you got 2 outs, first and second, and the pitcher up. Have you ever thought about becoming a Colorado Rocky? Sure, why not? Should. You ought to come down to fantasy camp. It's coming up, 2012 Rockies Fantasy Camp. Scottsdale at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. I went last year for the first time. I'll be back again this year. Had a great time. Jimmy Wright was there. Mark Foley was there. The skipper. Catch it. Little chatter talk up here out of the booth. Catch it. That's 3, folks. Rockies trail it 2-0.
Fields going to lead things off for the Rockies, and Chris Nelson looks like he's going to pinch hit. There's Hector Gomez. We had a question on our text the booth night. Where is shortstop Hector Gomez? He's right there. See?
Here, let me help you. Right there.
Yeah,
That's
there you
it.
go. Now
That's
Hector
it.
was in the starting lineup tonight, and then he was a late scratch. He had some back spasms a couple of days ago, and he was a late scratch in that particular ball game, and obviously bothering him enough that he can't go again tonight. And you know, we've talked a lot about this. It hasn't been one thing, it's been another from a health standpoint for Hector Gomez. Very talented young man, but he's got to be able to stay on the field. So Tommy Field has taken his place as Carney Lansford and Jim Tracy converse. And Tommy leading things off here against Matt Latos. Latos has retired 6 in a row since that bunt single by Ewok. You know, that's a play that I think it was scored correctly. It was a hit and then an error on Hundley. But if Hundley, you know, fires a strike, who knows? You could be looking at a no-hitter right now in the 6th inning. Rockies were looking at that last night facing Corey Luebke. He went 2 outs into the 6th inning with the no-hitter, and Tommy Field was going to bunt his way on. CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Latos is topped out at 96. Chacín at 93. That's going to work its way foul. Tommy Field will have to come back, and he'll be staring at a 1-2 count. Again, the Rockies lost yesterday 8-2. They're now 38-41 at home. It ensures that they'll have just the 4th sub-500 season in the history of Coors Field. 17 years of playing at 20th and Blake. It's the first time they're below 500 at Coors Field since 2005. Most losses they've ever had at home, 43 in 2004. And if the Rockies do not win at least one of these next two, they would tie that mark.
It appears Matt Bilal will warm up now. Renicky was to get out of that inning, then Matt would come in and try to slam the door and give this offense a chance to catch up.
It's been such a rough go of late, George. When was the last time we mentioned the name Rafael Betancourt?
Been a while.
That's fair. Huntley did a good job of grabbing it while it was fair to get the convenient out at first. So Chris Nelson will come up and pinch hit for Chacin.
Now, as a catcher, you're always prepared for this. When a ball pops out front, get a hold of it in a hurry, and that's exactly what he did. Right on top of the foul line to keep it fair territory and to make the play.
Dougie came back bearing gifts, George.
Drew, what is that? What did you get, Dougie?
Dug up potato chips.
Doug, like you're not going to buy potato chips for the house for a while, huh? How many other bags do you get back there? 3 or 4? You did?
Doug,
what are you doing?
You ever heard of a plate?
No, I'm good. I don't want any.
Doing.
I'm good. I don't want any.
Just pouring stuff out on the counter.
Here, take them away. I'm done. Trying to eat healthy now, Doug. Oh, folks, I'm the most unhealthiest person. It's right here.
There you go.
It's right there. About 3 more months, I'll be good. So my wife says, you're bigger than I was when I was pregnant with both kids. What are you doing?
Here's the 0-2, and Nelson lifts it to center field. Maben will make the catch. 2 outs. That'll bring up EY. Heath Bell, what's he got? That's nice. He's eating cake before the game. I'm in shape. Round is a shape.
I like that.
He wipes the cake right on the shirt. Yeah. It was a great scene Sunday morning in San Diego. Bell was out running his sprints, and his little son was out in his San Diego Padre uniform running with Dad. It was a great little scene on a Sunday morning at Petco. So obviously Alana took us seriously, George. We haven't heard from her in 4 innings.
Not going to.
That is not
you
true.
You upset her a little bit.
She's a little
She's a little upset with you, Drew.
It's only bottom of the 6th. That was 2 innings ago. I'm
Seems
coming
like
up here
forever.
at the top of the 7th.
Seems
Wait
like
for
forever.
Oh, did you miss me?
I did. Drew did. I did.
Goody never misses me. When I'm not at the game and I text him and I ask him if he misses me, he texts me back, who is this?
Exactly. Who texts you back and talks to me?
I know. I appreciate it. You're always in my corner, Frazier. I appreciate it.
Here's the 0-2. I hear voices in my ear. 1 and 2.
You hear voices in your ear. Drew, there's only 7 or 8 games left. You'll be all right. I don't like it if you're hearing voices in your ear.
EY pulls this one foul.
You know what all those potatoes? It looks like a potato patch. They're everywhere, all over the tabletop. Dougie can't talk or work anymore. He's got his face in the bag like a chihuahua. He's killing it.
One, 2 again inside. 2-2 underway at Dodger Stadium. No score. George, you know, Lincecum and Kershaw hooking up in that ball game.
No, really?
Yeah.
Lincecum's left-handed and Kershaw's right-handed?
Something like that.
One's from Texas, the other's from California.
High fly ball deep right field.
Did
EY hit it out? No, it's off the top of the wall. Junior around second, heading to third. He's got himself a stand-up triple. He's got both hits for the Rockies.
Yeah, one went 10 feet and the other one went 490 feet. One was a bunt out in front of the plate, and then this one here. I can imagine what Richie Dower is saying to him right now, knowing Richie and his humor. Breaking ball, stayed out over the middle of the plate. EY got out on the front foot and just smoked this thing to right field. Thought about it. Oh, that was close. Only about 4 feet away.
So Junior safe at third, safe and secure New York life. Mark Ellis will try to drive him in. Mark a strikeout and a ground ball to short. Rockies with their 38th triple of the year, which is second in the National League to these Padres, who've produced 41 triples. Here's the 1-0 to Mark Ellis. Here's a McDonald's Big Mac smack. We return you to last night's action. The only hit for the Rockies, Mark Ellis, a bomb to center field with Eric Young aboard. Be sure to text McD to get a free Egg McMuffin or Big Mac with the purchase of any drink. That's a strike. It's one per person. It's valid tomorrow only at participating Northern Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming McDonald's. Means the Cowboy can grab one tomorrow in Denver, and then on the way home, loop to center field, and Hudson gets out and makes a catch. So the Rockies get a triple from EY. He's stranded at third base, and it remains a 2-0 score in favor of San Diego as we turn the page to inning number 7. Sonic, you've got two hands for a reason. Put the kick at Coney in one and the bacon and blue dog in the other. They're new and only in Sonic for $1.99. By College Invest, are you saving for college or just talking about it? By Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. And by the Colorado Lottery, Mega Millions from the Colorado Lottery, mega jackpots every Tuesday and Friday. 2-0 San Diego. They got an unearned run in the first. They got another run in the 6th inning. Chacin is on the hook, gives up 2 runs, 1 earned over 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, and now Matt Belisle will take over in the 7th inning, and it's Cameron Maben representing the top of the Padres lineup. Maben's 0 for 3, and he swings at the first pitch.
Good hard slider at 83 miles an hour at a good location, down and away.
Center field for Dexter Fowler. Time to answer our AT&T trivia question. Justin Verlander leads all of baseball in victories, ERA, and strikeouts. Who was the last pitcher to win the pitching Triple Crown? Well, it was Johan Santana with the Twins back in 2006. This is fouled off down the line. He went 19-6, 277 ERA, struck out 245 that year. Santana's throwing the baseball again at the minor league level. Obviously, the minor leagues are done. It's Tommy Field that came up with it.
By the way, that was a tough play, because there's a game in baseball called Deke, where you kind of just put your glove in front of the ball, jerk it back, see if you can make sure they catch it. I'm not sure Kuzminoff didn't think he could get to this ball, so watch how he cuts in front of it, puts the glove down. No, never mind, you go ahead. That's a nice play. Okay, peels off right in front of him. Thomas Field may have said, I've got it, let it go, and make it a little easier throw on him, and he was able to get Jason Bartlett.
You know, Tommy's probably been overmatched a little bit offensively, again, at times, but he's played very good defense.
He could do that. How about Belisle? 4 pitches to get through that. That was pretty quick.
That was very quick. 1, 2, 3, 7th inning from Matt Belisle. Get something going against Matt Latos. Another Office Liquidators text to booth question. Justin, I'd like to hear more about Mike Zwanich, very good first baseman in Modesto. He had a great start to the year. I know that.
He had a great start, hit 382, drove in a lot of runs, came to Tulsa, and within a week fouled the ball off his foot, was out for almost 3 weeks before he got back on track with the Drillers, but never really hit like he did in Modesto, and I think large due in part he was on the DL with that injury. They just never got his rhythm going until right at the very end. Last 4 or 5 ball games, he played right, he played left, he played a little bit of first base. He's a very good hitter.
Want to know on Dexter Fowler hitting third tonight for the first time in his career. Now, he did it a few times in the minor leagues at Casper, and also he did it at Tulsa. $32,465 in attendance. Zwanich is another UCSB guy. Bill Guyvette, Ryan Spilborg's the reigning chairpersons of the
Bill Guyvette, trust me, is the dean of the school.
Yeah, dean of the baseball program at least. I don't know, when you start talking about academic side, throw guy
He's got
that
his
in there.
master's degree.
He does, but I'm just saying, when you start throwing academics and Guyvo's name around, I
I'm
think
not
you got to
going
be
to pick
careful.
on him. He's in Arizona Instruction League right now.
He can't respond. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh,
3
your
and 2.
phone's going to light up here in just a second. Trust me.
You know, to Zwanish's credit, George, he had a .318 minor league average going into the season.
He's always
Fowler's
hit.
gone.
Yeah, he's always hit. I think he's, he drove in runs. I think he's one of those guys. He's got a chance, and again, when I say he's got a chance, what I mean by that is I think he's got a chance to be a very productive player. 25-year-old that signed, got a chance to play, and he's taking the best advantage of it.
Seth Smith has hit a fly ball to center and struck out. Shift is on for Smith. His buddy Eli Manning led the Giants to a 28-16 victory last night. How many teams can boast 2 guys that backed up Mannings in college, huh?
1. Colorado Rockies.
Russell Wilson, 4th round pick of the Rockies a couple years ago at NC State, who's now finishing his college career at Wisconsin, has been unstoppable in leading the Badgers, who are in the top 5 of the country.
Yeah, and you got to be realistic about it too. He's not a guy that is going to come up and in football, because he's, let's face it, folks, he's 5'9", and he weighs 5'11". I'll be nice. And, he weighs 185. He can throw the football. He can scramble. He can run. Now, I will say this. There's some Canadian football teams that like him, because that's a scramble, fire, little quarterback run, option type thing up there. And there's some teams that like him up there. But he's getting a chance to do something pretty special in this play with a very good program at Wisconsin.
Perino in foul ground makes the catch. George, that's a beautiful segue you just made, inadvertently, I'm sure. Coming up after this Toyota postgame show, more college football on Root Sports as the 8th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys take their high-powered offense to Tulsa to take on the Golden Hurricane. You know what? I will take Oklahoma State in this game, and I'm going to give you. How many should I give you?
Well, I'll tell you, give me 30, because they've already played, and it's 55-33. Is
that what it was?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to give you 21. 3 touchdowns enough for you. Jordan Pacheco. And Jordan lines this ball to right field, but it's going to die in the glove of Jeremy Hermida, and it's a quick 7th inning for Latos. He's given up 2 hits. Eric Young has them both. Texas look back. Well, in the first inning, an unearned run against Chassin. His seeing-eye ground ball off the bat of Orlando Hudson would sneak through. And the Padres were on the board. In the sixth inning, they got a pair of doubles to produce a run. Jeremy Hermida goes opposite field. He thought he may have hit it out. It hit on the upper third of the wall. And Hudson, who had doubled, comes home. The Padres, with a 2-0 lead, they've rode a great performance tonight by Matt Latos, who's limited the Rockies to 2 hits, a bunt single and a triple by Eric Young. 47th appearance now for Rex Brothers.
Well, and this left-hander's really developed an awful lot of confidence. A lot of confidence. He doesn't get so happy with the fastball, and it's good. But a couple of home runs that he's given up leading off the 8th inning have been off the fastball versus right-handers.
Back-to-back sliders. It's a 1-1 count on Anthony Rizzo.
Well, the Rockies take off on the road tomorrow after the ball game. Well, if you're out on the road also, MLB.com @BAT11 app featuring highlights and a whole lot more. Text @BAT to 31826 to keep up with your Rockies.
One and two. He had electric stuff in his last outing. Rex's younger brother is a right-handed pitcher in college now. He's going to the same school that Rex went to, Lipscomb in Tennessee. Rex told me he recently hit 93, which is pretty good for a teenager.
Hey, good.
1-2, and Rizzo's gone.
Somehow I think Rizzo got to see that in April. A hard slide.
Now, George, that is 54 strikeouts in 38 innings.
Is that any good?
It's very good.
Well, it's you know, here's, and a lot of times, Drew, we've said this an awful lot. You know, we'll look at each other in between innings. Sometimes a kid will pop up out of the minor leagues, and everybody talks about it. Because we can only go by up here, folks, what we hear. You know, and guys come up and say, "Oh, this guy's 97, 98." I remember Franklin Morales came up the first trip Drew and I saw him, and they said, "Oh, he took 98 miles an hour with a hammer," and he was like 89, 93. And we're looking at each other, going, "Where's the 98?" Well, they said this kid throws 97 with a slider. Guess what? He throws 97 with a really hard slider. It was legit talk on him.
Yeah, he is not disappointed.
To
One
me,
ball, one strike.
To me, he's got a chance to be Venters, the young man from the Atlanta Braves. For me, I think he could do that and close.
Yeah,
just like I think Venters could close also if he didn't have Kimbrel doing it behind, who blew one of his saves last night, one of the few. Not a save, but he took a loss in a game yesterday when he couldn't complete the inning.
Well, it was
talking about Kimbrel.
Yeah, it was a blown save.
Yeah, and that hadn't happened a whole lot with him. So, Duck, those are our potato chips. You have your own bag in the back, okay?
Here's a 2-1, and Hudson fouls it off. Similar stuff. Venters is a guy who'll throw in the upper 90s with a hard slider.
Drew, if you're missing one of your 2,000 potato chips you had there, Doug took it.
I got it. 2-2.
And I think the key to talking about, you know, and you talk to Dan O'Dowd, you talk to Mark Gustafson, who's now gone to scouting, and Jeff Bradich when he gets a little more comfortable. When you talk to him, you know, I always say to those guys, they'll say, well, this guy throws 97, this guy throws 99. Can he get anybody out? Can he throw strikes? Because if he can't throw strike with it, it's worthless.
3-2 on Hudson. Single, walk, double tonight for Orlando. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies taco special, text keyword taco to 720-720. Three and two on Orlando Hudson. Strike three. Hudson knew it. Another punch out. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball froze the veteran.
And what Drew will do a lot, and I'll do it too, is you don't go and talk to a young left-hander that had to face him. You go talk to Orlando Hudson. And you say, hey, what'd you think of the Brothers kid last night? And he'll say something kind of, well, he struck me out, didn't he? And then he'll go, you know what, that kid's got legit stuff. You know, he was on the black. It was 97. He snapped that hammer in on my hands. I had no shot. Go ask a veteran guy that's faced Randy Johnson. Nasty, big left-hander. Good, that's faced Venters. Say, oh, you compare him to Venters, and they give you the answer, yes. That's a pretty special compliment.
Yep. Remember asking Orlando Hudson and Eric Burns about Ubaldo Jimenez when he first came to the big leagues.
Yeah, same thing. They were like, that's filthy.
So where'd that guy come from?
But Drew and I both looked at him and said the Dominican Republic. Well, they asked where he came from.
Santo Domingo.
Right.
Well, the Dodgers got 2 in the first off of Tim Lincecum.
6-5 now. Mets over the St. Louis Cardinals. That game's in the top of the 7th, but the Mets have the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Three balls and a strike. 2-0 San Diego.
You know, we got the save yesterday for the St. Louis Cardinals. Octavio Dotel.
It took him about 6 pitchers to get that final out. Eric Young makes the catch. Another strong inning from Rex Brothers. But the Rockies down a couple of runs, just 6 outs left on offense. All Access. Take a look at the friendship that's grown from between Carlos Gonzalez and Johnny Herrera. Goes back to when they played Little League Baseball together. It's all on Rockies All Access Thursday night at 10:30. And Latos misses ball one. Kevin Kuzminoff 0 for 1 and a walk. Rockies have had 3 base runners, and 1 was temporary. EY got a bunt single in the 3rd. There was an error on Nick Huntley. This is to short. Throwing it down the right field line, but then a great throw by Hermida to get Eric Young at 3rd. That's why I said he was on base just temporarily. Kuzminoff walk, was stranded with 2 outs, and then the 2-out triple by EY in the 6th inning. Mark Ellis then hit a floater to second. 1 out. Here's Willeen Rosario. The Rockies at Coors Field yesterday got 1 hit. It's just the 4th time they've gotten 1 hit or less in a game. They got no hit by Hideo Nomo. And there's now been 3 1-hitters against him at Coors Field. Padres will get Clayton Richard back at some point next year.
Well, they've got some really good young pitching coming. San Antonio, they won the AA franchise or AA League championship. Like Elsinore won the championship.
You got Tim Stoffer. Here's a base hit for Rosario.
On a slider, that's good to see.
Tommy Field coming up.
All right, tomorrow is the last home game, folks, and you got to make sure you get out here for this. I know it's a day game. I know it's Wednesday. It's midweek, but for Fan Appreciation Day, and stay around for the post-game player thank you lap. That's always pretty good. It's all brought to you by ProBuild, and I know things haven't gone the way they wanted to here in Lodo, but the players do appreciate the great turnouts that you've had this entire year, and they'd like to show some of that appreciation back to you.
And this is going to squeak through, and it is backed up by Huntley, but he can't come up with it. Throw back towards Field, and he hops out of the way.
It's going everywhere. Wow, what just happened all over the field?
We've seen a lot of that, unfortunately, lately.
The thing was, Latos wasn't even looking over at first. He's kind of gazing around to see where everybody else is running around on the field.
Look who's in the batter's box, or about to come up to the plate right now. He hadn't been in the batter's box in a while. Troy Tulowitzki.
All right, let's see if we can figure all this out. Rizzo dives, doesn't get it. Rolando throws to first, 6-5 over his head. Missed there. All of a sudden, they pick it up behind the plate. Hundley does. Hey, I got him at first. Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't looking. Now we got it in right field. Wait a minute. Would everybody just stop? Stop moving right now.
It's like you tell Little League, hold the baseball.
Yeah.
Just hold it.
Run to the mound on the circle. They can't run. Go there.
So the crowd abuzz as Tulo will come up. He still has more RBIs in the second half than anybody. He hasn't played in over a week. Troy 1 for 12 against Matt Latos. Runners at first and third and 1 out. Outside ball 1.
Latos still throwing hard. That fastball 94 miles an hour.
Well, whatever he's got left right now, he's going to empty the tank on Tulowitzki. 102 pitches in. Padres nursing a 2-0 lead. Tulo's taken batting practice out on the field each of the last couple of days, taking ground balls as well. 1-2. Troy is driven in a career best 105. He's hit 30 home runs, 36 doubles. Rosario at third, Field at first. Strike three. Throws him with a curveball. 2 outs.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt Latos, when he's had to make a pitch, he's done just that. Tulowitzki trying to get a fastball to hit, gets the breaking ball right on the paint, outside corner on the knee. A pitcher's pitch. All you can do is tip your hat and head to the dugout.
So Eric Young will come up, comebacker, bunt single, and a triple off the top of the fence in right center field. Ground ball to third. Rockies get a couple of hits. They leave 2 on in the 8th inning. We'll go to the 9th. It remains 2-0 Padres. Last inning, Chacin, pitcher of record for the Rockies. Latos has gone all 8 for San Diego. Coming up after the ball game, as always, the Toyota postgame show. For a preview, here's Tom Helmer. Tom?
Well, Drew, how about a player to be named Latos? Matt Latos with a shutout effort tonight in this ball game. We'll break down his performance. Also, 2 if by E. EY Jr. with a pair of hits tonight. We'll talk about his night and get you into the clubhouse, as always, on the Toyota postgame show. Drew?
All right, Tom, thank you. That'll be coming up in a little while. Hopefully after a Rockies 9th inning rally. Rafael Betancourt has been closing games for the Rockies the last month plus, but he hasn't had many opportunities lately.
And that's the hard part about being a closer on a club that's not winning games, is trying to stay sharp. And as a manager, you got to be careful where you use them. But he hasn't pitched in a while, and he needs to get in here tonight. Since the break, 077. That's what they've hit off of him. 1 earned run, 24 innings. I hope I don't jinx him. 6 out of 7. Only 1 walk, 33 strikeouts. Now, Latos, what a job he's done. Man, oh man, 4 hits. A shutout going here at Coors Field. He's going to have to deal, though, with 2, 3, and 4 in that next inning in the bottom of the ninth.
I love what he's done of late. Just look at the stats because they're mind-boggling. The league 5 for their last 78. That's ridiculous. Righties 3 for 53. since July the 7th. And they've struck out, George, more than half of those at bats, 28 out of the 53 at bats, and the slider, strike one. You know, it'll be a key for Rafael next year. He's typically somewhat of a slow starter. Get going a little early.
Well, and again, you know, that's some of it has to do with the cold weather. There's a lot of guys from Latin America at difficult times in April and May. You know, and it's kind of a fine line. If you look back spring training last year, remember Betancourt didn't get ready till the very end. You know, he had a little bit of issues with his arm and his body, so he couldn't get out on the field as much as he needed to. But I think it's important you get into a routine. And you know, when I went spring training, I wanted to throw 2 or 3 innings early. And as it progressed, I wanted to go back to back. I want to go back to back days. I want to pitch multiple innings. I want to make it as much of the as I could of game ready in spring training.
Bullpen's been perfect so far for the Rockies. Belisle a scoreless inning. Brothers a scoreless inning. Betancourt has the first out in the 9th inning. Windshield damage, call Safelight Auto Glass, 303-287-5000. Online at safelight.com. Andy Perino, a couple ground outs and a strikeout. Lefties 2 for their last 25 against Betancourt. So he just changed his pattern, George. He went change up there, and he used to be a guy that threw literally 95% of the time was come get the fastball.
Well, when you struggle, you look for other things. And he struggled, so he went changeup. And he did kind of a slider. But the thing about the slider, when he gets on top of it, it's a more 12-6, but it's really quick. It's not a big curveball. It's a hard power curveball.
And then he's still able to do that. And that is work the outside corner with a real good fastball. 92 to sometimes as high as 95. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Back-to-back punch outs for Rafael.
And I don't want to break up the string that's going on here, but the bullpen's retired 8 in a row. And out of those 8, 4 have been by strikeouts.
Well, this is interesting.
Matt
Latos is going to be given the opportunity, it looks like, by his skipper to throw the 9th inning because he's hitting here in the top of the 9th. Latos 0 for 3. Home run cut, no baseball. It's 0-1. Tell you what Rafael is. You know, we always talk about Mark Ellis. Since he arrived, he's just a pro's pro. That's what Rafael Betancourt is. He is a pro's pro. A guy that I know you'd respect.
Guys,
if you were in the same bullpen.
Yeah, guys learned a lot from him. I mean, Matt Belisle's been around a long time in the game of baseball. He talks about what Rafael Betancourt has taught him in the game.
And he's got a tremendous focus whenever he comes in. Some will say he's deliberate, he takes a long time. But the results are what matters, and he has been outstanding. That's the first pitch out of the strike zone he's thrown. He had a chance, George, had that been strike 3, to strike out the side on 9 pitches. And you were asking me earlier, you can't strike him out on any less than 9. Rosario setting up away. And that's strike 3.
Go ahead, just punch out the side and get it over with. Why not?
All 3 looking. Now let's see if the Rockies can put something together in the 9th. Ellis will lead it off. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt, in theaters September 23rd. Well, kids were just born. Next thing you know, they're in elementary school. Next thing, you're sending them to middle school, high school, and you know what comes after that. Make sure you take care of them now so you can rest easy. Go to collegeinvest.org and set up an account right now. You can do it right after the ball game. collegeinvest.org.
By the way, Matt Lato's going to try to shut things down. Heath Bell's going out there in the bullpen for him. He has one complete game in his career, and that came back in May the 13th, 2010 against San Francisco, and it was a shutout, just like what he's trying to accomplish here against the Rockies. This year, the San Diego Padres do not have a complete game one. 0.
Well, this is
he's trying to do that also to get them off the snide on that one.
This is the deepest Latos has gone in a ball game. His last 3, he's worked 7. This is redirected to short, and it'll be a 1-6-3 putout as Jason Bartlett is able to move his feet and still get to that baseball.
Well, when the ball was set, watch Bartlett in your background. See, he's starting to move up the middle. I don't think he catches that ball. I think it gets through. I think it goes in. But instead, off the glove of Latos on into Bartlett, and they get the out.
Dexter Fowler with 1 out. Dexter 0 for 3, ground out, and a couple of strikeouts. Yeah, Dexter came into the ball game hitting .270, left-handed, very solid average. Again, considering that a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you got a scrap hitting lefty." Here's something strange, though. He's hitting just .240 at Coors Field. Actually, with the 0 for 3 tonight, under .240, .291 out on the road. You don't ordinarily see that kind of split. Four of his 5 home runs have come from the left side. Smith on deck, hoping to come up, representing the tying run. You know, Anthony Bass is going tomorrow for San Diego, George. Aaron Cook will throw in what may be his call at Coors Field. That's inside. Anthony Bass called back to the big leagues, making his 2nd career start. He's like, gee, thanks. You know where his 1st career start was? Coors Field, June.
And it was pretty good. Went back and helped the AA Missions go ahead and complete their quest to be the Texas League Championships, and they did just that. That start against the Rockies. Give up 1 earned run in 8 innings.
This is shallow center field, and Hudson got leather on it, but it kicks away, and Dexter into second with a double, and Hudson hurt himself.
I think the ball hit him, didn't it? He hit somebody's head. See, when he came down, it wasn't on the fly to the ball, but when he came down, he hit it. Nobody's got out of the dugout yet to go check on him. See, watch when he goes down. He misses the ball, and then the ball came up and popped him right in the eye. But the skipper and nobody else has come out yet either, so put your hat on and go to second.
You know what? I'm a little perplexed. Why has the trainer not come out?
I don't know.
Seriously.
I have no idea.
You got a veteran guy out there rolling around
coming
on the turf.
There he comes.
Doogie would have had a tourniquet on the wound already.
Really didn't feel good because his momentum's going down, the ball's coming up, and it caught him look like right in the top of the eye socket. This doesn't do Latos any good to have this long delay right now, I can tell you that. Pretty good rhythm, and all of a sudden that rhythm got slammed shut.
He's having trouble, obviously, opening that left eye. He's going to come out. Alberto Gonzalez will go in at second base. Now this is also a visit. Bud Black.
Yep.
Has gone to the mound. He wants to look into the eye of Matt Latos, see how he's feeling.
115 pitches. The most so far came June 21st. Against Boston, he threw 120. See, I think they do it just to mess with the umpires and wait till they get out there and then they go, okay, we're done. Make him run all the way back. I'm just kidding. There's Gonzalez. He'll come in and play second base now.
Rockies trailing 2-0. 1 out. Fowler at second. Smith, who's 0 for 3. Step in against Latos. Smith came into the ballgame 4 for 10 against Matt Latos. So he's had success against him. Dropped another curveball in on the outside corner. He's had an outstanding curveball tonight. A lot of life on that fastball.
Yeah, I mean, the velocity's hung between 92. He threw one earlier at 95. Here in the 9th inning.
One and two. Smith is gone for the second out in the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Pacheco. Nine strikeouts tonight. Just 1 walk allowed. And 5 hits allowed by Matt Latos. His finest hour of the 2011 season. Pacheco has twice hit the ball in the air to right, also ground ball to third. This will be a very important offseason for Pacheco in that he has spent so much time working on his catching abilities. The last few years, he's going to take a ton of ground balls this winter.
Well, don't forget this year, too. He got hit in the eye socket with a fastball. I mean, he was out for a while. Didn't break anything, but kind of where that flap comes down and meets the bill of the cap, he got hit there with a fastball. And, you know, it's obviously mild concussion, had to take some time off.
Could hear Doug Addings saying, yeah, he did. 1 and 2.
Ball's off the plate, definitely. On that look, it doesn't look like he went around to me.
Yeah, I thought he held up. On the ground, up the middle, base hit. Dexter Fowler will score, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Jordan Pacheco with his 9th RBI.
I tell you, he's put on a demonstration this fall and putting on this uniform, getting an opportunity to play multiple positions, but hitter's one that he's played very well. 9 RBIs now, 2 home runs. It's forced Bud Black after the loss of the shutout, now the complete game. They don't want to fool with it, so they're going to go back out to their bullpen. They will do that. Heath Bell will come on to try to get a save here. That guy had a heck of a night, Matt Latos.
123 pitches, 8 2/3, 2-1. In any form, the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Well, the Rockies finally have a run against Matt Latos. It took him 8 2/3. It's a 2-1 ball game, and Heath Bell is on, looking for his 40th save, and he's going to face his old teammate Kevin Kuzminoff with Jordan Pacheco, the tying run at first.
How about Pacheco? 5 for 14 with runners in scoring position, 357 average. Rizzo's going, dude, I'm hitting like 118. How do you do that? All right. I don't get it. Kuzminoff and Bell, they've never hooked up. That doesn't surprise you.
Outside, ball 1. Heath Bell, who will be a free agent at the end of the year.
He was so much the talk of trade right at the deadline. People looking for closers. You know, St. Louis Cardinals talked to the Padres about trying to get Heath Bell to come over there to where they could utilize him because they're kind of shuffling the deck to find a closer. Things didn't happen. He stayed right here in San Diego, and he's 39 of 44.
2-0, base hit to right. Pacheco will stop at second. Tying run is in scoring position. And here comes Willeen Rosario.
A fastball is what Bell typically likes to throw a lot of. Now, Latos can sit in the dugout, scratch the head, comb that hair, do whatever he wants to do, but he needs to get the last out, and hoping Heath Bell could do it. Pretty good pitch. Fastball running down and in on him, and he able to fight this thing off into right field. That's a nice job of hitting by Kevin Kuzminoff. So the youngster Rosario is going to get a chance, just like Jordan Pacheco did, with a runner in scoring position, to try to tie this ball game up.
Willeen, a base hit last inning. And that misfires way outside. It's 1-0. Now sell out here on that fastball, George, huh?
Well, I mean, for me, that's what you got to do. Now, it's a matter of whether Heath Bell wants to do that or what he wants to, if he's going to go fastball. But the thing is, he threw him a nasty hook to start it.
He went back to it, and it's fouled off.
A little bit of a hanger there at 81 miles an hour.
Bottom of the 9th inning. It's 2-1. The Rockies barely scratch anything against Latos most of the ball game, and now they've actually out-hit the Padres 7-6. Ty Wigginton with a hat on. Here's the 1-1, and this one is fouled off. You know, these are at bats, George. You can talk all you want about March and facing a big league guy down in the Cactus League, or if you're in Florida and you play in the Grapefruit League. Even though I know both of these teams are going home next week, you can't replicate this in March.
No, you sure can't. There's no way you can do this for the youngster to give him a chance here. 1-2 count. I'd be really surprised if they threw him a fastball. They did.
And you know what? He's battling away.
Sure he is.
Good crowd at Coors Field Tuesday night. 32,465 in the house. Tying run at second in Pacheco. Winning run at first in Kevin Kuzminoff. Here's the 1-2. That's outside. Huntley trying a subtle little movement with the glove.
Yeah, it's outside and up. Watching in the dugout. Ring him up. Oh, I don't like the way this is going.
2-2, and he got him to chase. Heath Bell picks off his 40th save, and Matt Latos, in his finest performance of 2011, gets his 8th victory. And the Padres survive. They win it 2-1 over the Rockies, and they sent Colorado to their 6th consecutive loss. Latos the win, and Jolie Chassin loses for the 13th time this year. He's 11-13. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Well, Matt Latos struck out 9. He threw 123 pitches. And he had command of the fastball and the curveball tonight. Dominant stuff. Once again, the final score: San Diego has defeated the Rockies 2-1. Stick around. The Toyota postgame